There we go. Okay, so I was kind of like double checking the story summaries, but then I kind of noticed a little something. Why is the 3 and 9 novel here? Oh man, Falcom, what are you cooking? What are you cooking here? But yeah, I took a look through the... What was it? Like a quick glance at how the story summaries are laid out, because again, I do kind of want to maintain like the tradition of like a part 0 reading through all this. But yeah, it's gonna take a little while, but I mean, for the entire games, for it to be summarized within like less than 10 pages, like so far. Although, you have like 9 pages for Cold Steel 4. But yeah, and then we have like 3 and 9 here. But yeah, they look pretty cute. Especially, oh wait, 9 was the one with the teddy bear, right? The teddy bear's huge. You wonder how chat will behave because this game's still as hot as iron compared to Cold Steel 4. Yeah, we'll have to see if anyone will actually get in here with like spoilery names or just blurt out shit, or if they'll actually just be respectful and stuff. We'll have to see. Some people have said it's not really that bad. Some people, or I haven't really heard much of like people getting spoiled, but it's kind of like your mileage may vary within the stream space, especially for a story-heavy game like Trails and stuff. Like, if anything, if anyone happens to see someone spoiling something, like spam something in chat. If maybe you can say something to don't look at chat. Yeah, like just take like a mode on FFZ or something and just spam, I don't know, like Bochu Possessed or Kudu, or just spam whatever, saying that the spoilers in chat, and I'll just like clear it. Then I have to turn off like my my dashboard, so I don't see the actual chat within the chat on screen or on my other monitor, because I have like 2 chats open. Hello. Oh, actually, wait. I think I can change a setting in my chat, because I think I have like, I think I deleted messages are still visible on my chatty. I should probably change that now that I think about it. Is there a thing I can... Ah, here it is. Deleted messages, delete the whole message on your end. Okay, there we go. So at least don't see it on chatty. And I can change this for the time being. Okay. I changed some stuff to prevent myself from getting spoiled on my other monitor in case I had to like delete someone on my other, or on my chatty. Okay. So that's about all the precautions I can possibly take. But yeah, again, if something does come up and I just happen to not be looking, feel free to spam the chat to warn me. Okay. So let's look at the settings real quick though. So I did change a couple settings. Well, what was it? Like the usual like speed settings and everything at ×2, just for like the stream end and everything. It's really nice that we can actually change the speed stuff in game in the menu without having to do the stuff in a launcher. That's really convenient and nice. Kind of wish they would go back and do it with the other games, but at least it's here now. And I'm not sure how the actual battles will play out, but I put it at wide mode just for the hell of it. And we'll have to see how some of the other camera controls go with like the display stuff. Instead of just limiting it to 60, I decided to up it to like 75, just so I have like a little more on my end, while also not being too low. And then I basically put everything to like near near max, but depending on whether or not I actually need to lower this a bit. Also, wait, this is going up to 100 again. There we go. But yeah, if OBS ends up being a little bit choppy, then I can actually lower these a little bit, because I'm not sure how actually intensive Reverie can be compared to the other games. And yeah, everything should be good here. Maybe maybe I'll leave BGM at 2. I did adjust it on my own Windows volume mixer, so normally the volume of Reverie was like blasting my ears when I booted this up. And yeah, as usual, button prompts, mouse and keyboard. I played every Trails game on keyboard and mouse, so yeah. If it controls just like every other Trails game so far, it'd be just fine. Okay. Settings are a dream for you and your potato laptop. So the most spoiler thing you've seen is that one dude in another streamer that you watched, dude came in and started hinting at Osborne during a Cold Steel 3 playthrough. Bro. Oh, you also know, like, you also know what's like pretty dumb as well? When people are trying to act all like they're trying to theorize something, but they know it and they're just trying to like lead people on. It's like, so-and-so looks pretty suspicious, don't you think? It's like, bro, shut up, you totally know what you're saying. Like, oh my god. It's like if anyone knows anything, just wait until it happens. That's all I can ask for any and everyone, no matter what game, what streamer, or what have you. Like, just wait till the moment happens. I wish there were more people out there that would get that, because I've seen like people acting all smug about like trying to act like they don't know shit and like trying to make theories and lead people on. I'm just like, bro, you're not some kind of like master manipulator with like a level 100 charisma stat or something. Like, come on, everyone can see what you're trying to do. That's why mods aren't put in? Oh yeah. Chow was very nice during the Cold Steel 4 finale. Oh yeah, like, it was pretty nice during Cold Steel 4 and stuff. Anyways, okay. Because I want to maintain this tradition, I'm gonna speed read the hell out of this. So, wish me luck. Okay, so Trails from Zero Prologue Special Support section. Crossbell is a small state between Zemuria's two major powers, the Erebonian Empire and the Calva Republic. Behind the shining veneer of its rapidly developing economy, the state is rife with problems, including corruption and organized crime, garnering it the nickname the City of Sin. It's also home to Lloyd Bannings. Lloyd returned to Crossbell to train at the police academy 3 years after his brother was killed in a line of duty. After graduating with high marks, he was ordered to join the newly established police division, the Special Support Section. The SSS's ostensible purpose was for the Crossbell Police Department to win back the citizens' trust that had been eroded due to corruption in its upper ranks and take back popularity lost to the Bracer Guild. It was there that Lloyd met his colorful co-workers, Ellie McDowell, a reserved young woman with more to her than met the eye, Tio Plato, the young technician sent by the Epstein Foundation, Randy Orlando, a womanizing former Crossbell Guardian Force member, and Sergey Lowe, the division's chief who preferred a hands-off approach. At first, Lloyd couldn't help but feel his new post would make it difficult to follow in his brother's footsteps as a detective. However, his eyes were open to new possibilities, and the group soon solved an incident involving the Mafia, interfering with two street gangs. Lloyd realized the SSS could shine new light on Crossbell's problems by taking a different approach, unique from the Bracer Guild and other police divisions. The SSS, sensing a role only they could fulfill, to make Crossbell a better place, agreed to work together to accomplish that goal no matter what barrier stood in the way. Like they said the thing. Oh, they said the thing. Alright, Chapter 1, Afternoon of the Wolves. The Bracer Guild's Crossbow branch was centered around A-rank bracer Arios McLean, otherwise known as the Divine Blade of Wind. The guild was already highly trusted in the region, far more so than the CPD, but its future was made even more promising by the arrival of two young bracers from abroad, Estelle and Joshua Bright. The two heroes hail from the Liberal Kingdom and and had led efforts to solve the orbital shutdown phenomenon incident that occurred there just 1 year prior. Rumor had it that they had come to Crossbell in search of someone. Around that time, the SSS was investigating a case concerning monster attacks outside of Crossbell City. The monster resembled wolves, according to the eyewitnesses, but the more the SSS uncovered, the more unlikely it seemed for ordinary wolves to be responsible. Eventually, the SSS discovered the attacks were perpetrated by the Reverie and Co. Mafia's warhounds. Zeit, the leader of the wolves who stood accused of the attacks, were out to help the SSS defeat the true criminals. Soon after, Zeit appeared at the SSS building, making himself at home, and offering his aid to the still immature police squad. Sergei had him officially registered as a police dog, making Zeit the newest member of the Special Support Section. Chapter 2, Golden Sun, Silver Moon. The SSS was then contacted by Rishia Mal, the co-star of Arc-and-Ciel's famed Illy Platier. Rishia said that someone named Yin had sent a letter to the theater troupe, threatening to target Ilya if production of the newest show Golden Sun, Silver Moon wasn't ceased. Revash soon again was the first suspect, but new information caused the SSS to reconsider. They learned from neighborhood lawyer Ian Grimwood that Yin was the name of a legendary an assassin, hailing from Calvary's eastern quarter with likely ties to the famous Eastern Syndicate Heiwei. However, with no motive as to why a legendary assassin would want to interfere with the performance, the SSS's investigation seemed at an impasse. It was then that Mayor McDowell's secretary Ernest Race came to visit Ellie. He urged Ellie to quit the police and help her grandfather, the mayor, instead. Ellie revealed she joined the CPD to better understand her home so that she too might one day run for office. With Lloyd's support, she cast her doubt aside and resolved to remain with the SSS and continue investigating the threat letter case. The SSS was finally able to locate Yin with the help of the influential CEO of the International Bank of Crossbow, Dieter Croix, and the young runaway hacker, Yona Sacred. Much of their shock, however, Yin denied being the sender of the threat letter and instead made a request of their own, to find the true culprit and apprehend them. The SSS chose to back up the CPD 1st Division's security efforts on the opening night of Arkansas's new show. There they uncovered the true mastermind they were after, Ernest. He had sent the threat letter to create a diversion while planning to assassinate the mayor. Finally, the SSS managed to stop Ernest before he finished the deed, but the case was left with many unsolved mysteries, such as why Ernest went to such lengths to kill Mayor McDowell, and the origin of the superhuman strength he showed when resisting arrest. Mayor McDowell urged Ellie to continue her police work and not to worry over him as he took time away from the office to recover. Meanwhile, Yin met with Heiwei's Sao Li to discuss the incident, but quickly excused himself. Sao pondered what could be so urgent as Yin is seen running along the rooftops toward the entertainment district. I wonder. Chapter 3, Crossbell Anniversary Festival. The SSS was tasked with its busiest week yet as Crossbell State celebrated the 70th anniversary of its founding with a 5-day festival. The second day had them search for St. Ursula Hospital's Dr. Joachim Gwenter, who wandered off to fish. Soon after, the SSS was summoned back to the city to settle a dispute between local street gangs once more. Following an exciting afternoon, the SSS learned of an event called the Schwarz Auction from Estelle and Joshua. The name referred to a secret black market auction that was held each year during the anniversary festival, and it was said to be attended by Crossbell's highest-ranking politicians and elite. Naturally, that made interfering with the auction taboo among the police and Crossbellian underworld. Even Chief Sergei, who had never stopped the SSS from meddling with Revesh before, warned them to stay away from the auction, or else the division's days could become numbered. The SSS, frustrated by the chief's orders, continued to work through their support request. On the festival's 4th day, they were tasked with searching for the missing son of Harold Hayworth, a local trader, which led them to working with an enigmatic girl named Ren. Ren was none other than the infamous hacker Kitty that had been plaguing the Orbital of late. And using her skills, the SSS located and rescued Colin Hayworth. Lloyd soon realized the connection Ren shared with the Hayworths and that she had come to Crossbell to observe the parents she loathed for abandoning her. However, as Ren hid in Lloyd's room and heard Harold tell the SSS the full story of how he and his wife lost their daughter, she realized they never abandoned her after all. Later that night, the SSS learned from Estelle and Joshua that Ren once belonged to the Society of Ouroboros. The Braces explained they had come to Crossbell in search of Ren, hoping to welcome her into their family, and were disappointed to learn that they had just missed her once again. Afterward, the two teams went out to dinner and bonded as the SSS was told the details of the previous year's The Burl incident. The following morning, the SSS received a letter from Ren, and with it, a token of her appreciation, an authentic invitation to the Schwarz auction taking place on the last night of the festival. The opportunity was too good to pass up. The team resolved to attend the auction. which was being held at the mansion of Speaker Hartman, the head of the Crossbell Diet, and only politician in the state as powerful as Mayor McDowell. Lloyd attended the auction equipped with a disguise and alias thanks to help from Wazzy Hemisphere, the leader of the Testament Street gang the SSS was well acquainted with. Once inside, he ran into Maria Bocrois, daughter of Dieter and best friend to Ellie. She was there to bid out a doll from the Rosenberg studio, a local maker of highly sought-after antique dolls. Yin, who'd also come to investigate the auction, warned there was an explosive surprise among the auction stock. In the back room, Lloyd found something else contained inside the Rosenberg doll's trunk, a living, breathing little girl who could only remember her name, Kia. Lloyd acted fast, believing Kia to be a victim of human trafficking. However, Reverie didn't make escaping easy, as the threat Hayaway posed led to the auction being heavily guarded. Nearly home free, the SSS was cornered by the Mafia's commander and former Jaeger Garcia Rossi. Rossi would discern Randy was actually the son of the War God, the heir to the Red Constellation Jaeger Corps. Just as Randy was ready to use the ruthless strength he'd been hiding, Chief Sergei arrived in the nick of time to help the SSS and Kia make their escape. Okay, we're getting there. Intermission, Kia. The SSS suspended operations in the week that followed as the mess of the auction was sorted out behind closed doors. Reverie claimed to have no knowledge that a human was among the auction stock and cut a deal with the police brass to overlook the SSS's interference with the auction to avoid human trafficking charges and possible intervention from the Bracer Guild. Meanwhile, the SSS spent their week off growing close to Kia, becoming like one big happy family almost instantly. However, Kia's continued amnesia made it difficult to ascertain where she came from and whether she had a home to return to. The SSS knew they couldn't realistically look after a child of unknown origins forever, but no amount of police or guild investigation produced any leads. Estelle and Joshua proposed the SSS try consulting the Septian Church, theorizing that they may be able to help if the cause of Kia's amnesia were psychological. Hey, love, how you doing? The Crossbell Cathedral sister Marble used thaumaturgy to help Kia recover some abstract memories of her past, but no more. She suggested that the problem may lie in Kia's nervous system, which led the SSS to turning to Dr. Gwenter, a specialist in neurology. However, he told them Kia would need to be admitted to the hospital for an extended period of time, something Kia staunchly refused. Behind the scenes, Reverie licked its wounds from the shame brought on by the Schwartz auction's failure, and feared further advancements by Hayaway. The company's president and Don to the Mafia, Marconi, decided it was time to rely on a dangerous ally to turn the organization's fortunes around, despite Garcia's protests. Chapter 4: Creeping Wisdom. A month passed since Kia went live, Kia live streaming now? Jeez. A month passed since Kia went to live with the SSS. One day, they received a visit from the Crossbell Guardian Forces Noel Seeker, who turned to them for help with an investigation into the Moon Temple ruins situated in the Mainz Mountains. Afterward, they learned that one of Mainz's miners, Gantz, left to gamble in Crossbell City weeks ago, but never returned. Parting ways with Noel, the SSS found Gantz at one of the Entertainment District hotels. He had been on an uncharacteristic lucky streak and belligerently refused to return to the village. In the days that followed, the SSS heard reports of people going missing throughout the city and of unnaturally strong Reverie members attacking Hayaway's office. Gantz had finally met his match in the form of Lecter Arundel, a quirky Erebonian in Crossbell on vacation. After Gantz had a mental breakdown, the SSS found mysterious blue pills in his possession. Between Gantz's uncanny gambling luck and the superhuman strength allegedly displayed by the Mafia, they began making connections between the mysterious drug and strange incidents occurring. The First Division was under pressure from top brass to not investigate the incidents, so its ace detective Alex Dudley entrusted the SSS to follow up on the pills. They did so by handing them over to Dr. Gwenter for analysis, but not before hearing an unsettling story. The effects were allegedly similar to a drug known as Gnosis, produced years ago by a cult named DG, a story which seemed to turn Teal pale. That night, Teal explained her traumatic past, how she was forced into the DG cult's inhumane experience before being rescued by Lloyd's brother, and that as a result, she gained unnaturally sharp senses. The SSS received word that all of Revash's members had disappeared as they waited for the results of the drug's analysis. Alongside Dudley, they took this opportunity to infiltrate the Mafia's base and investigate. Once in the Don's office, the SSS and Dudley found a shipping list for Gnosis, confirming that Reverie played a part in its latest distribution. Also hidden in inside a chest in the back was a stunning surprise: Guy Banning's CPD badge that had been missing since the time of his still unsolved murder. Finale: Crossbell's longest day. Later that same day, the SSS was left in suspense as they had still yet to hear back on the analysis of the blue pills. Worse yet, they were unable to contact Dr. Gwenter or anyone else at the hospital. Fearing the worst, the SSS left for St. Ursula as the sun was setting. Hearing along the way that Gwenter had also been Ernest Rice's physician before a sudden mental breakdown months prior. When they arrived at the hospital, they found Revash's henchmen acting as though they were otherworldly fiends. After defeating the one standing guard, Yin arrived, willing to aid the SSS on their mission. Once in Gwenter's office, they were attacked by Ernest, clearly under Gnosis' influence. After he was defeated, they began going through the documents Gwenter left behind, finding evidence of DG's human experiments, including on Ren and Tio. Also among the files was a photo of Kia slumbering inside a mysterious critter-like sphere. Suddenly, Ren appeared and told them that Kia was the key to everything happening. After returning to the city, the SSS was attacked by the CGF, who were being controlled just like the Mafia. With the help of Dieter and Maria Bell, the SSS and Kia took refuge in the IBC building. However, Gwenter, through one of his puppets, urged them to hand Kia over. The SSS resolved to take the fight to Gwenter directly, and left for his newly discovered hiding place, the Sunfort Ruins. There they met up with Estelle and Joshua and charged their way inside. In the fort's furthest depths, they found Gwenter and the altar shown in the photo of Kia. Gwenter further denounced the existence of Adius and explained that DG worshipped Kia, calling her the divine child. Gwenter further explained that Gnosis was a means by which to achieve true wisdom, and that Kia had slumbered for 500 years. Gwenter, stopping at nothing to live out his delusions, turned himself into a demon by consuming highly potent red Gnosis. The heroes fought back, but were unable to overcome the strength of Gwenter's demonized form afforded him. Thanks to being rescued by Ren, the heroes found the opening they needed. Gwenter was defeated, but his power was too much for even him to handle, causing him to disintegrate after battle. Gwenter in his dying words claimed that Gnosis allowed him to see the truth of the world, and the inevitable fate coming for Crossbell. You know, kind of makes me wonder about, like, the whole thing we learned about, like, what was it, the stuff at the end of Cold Steel 4 with, like, the divergent laws, things, like, that we don't know about outside of Zemuria and everything. I kind of wonder if, like, Gwenter had a moment of, like, omniscience, like, seeing all this, just before his demise and everything. I kind of wonder. Like, now that we know about the existence of the divergent laws, kind of makes you wonder. Alright, now for Trails to Azure. Traces of D. God, I still can't believe they call it Traces of D. Okay, let's get to it. The SSS went on hiatus in the months following the cult incident caused by the former DG called High Priest Joaquin Gwenter. Ellie was traveling abroad with her grandfather, the Crossbell Diet's new speaker. Tio briefly returned to Le Mans for foundation work, and Randy was helping the CGF unit once controlled by Gnosis with this rehabilitation training. Lloyd took the opportunity to train with the 1st Division, and at the end of his training, a joint operation was put together between the SSS, 1st Division, CGF, and Bracer Guild. Its mission: find and capture cult zealot Ernest Rice and his hostage Hartman, the disgraced former speaker who left office after his connection to the cult was discovered. Lloyd, along with Noel, Arios, and Dudley, managed to corner Ernest in the cult's former lodge on the outskirts of Altair Calvard, just across the border with Crossbell. Ernest explained he fled to the lodge to make use of the spirit veins that ran below it and achieve wisdom that eluded even Gwenter. After demonizing just as Gwenter did, Ernest began showing similar signs of self-destruction, leading Lloyd to evoke Ellie and Speaker McDowell's names in hope of bringing him back from the brink. Ernest managed to return to normal and fall unconscious after a sudden appearance by the Grossrooters Kevin Graham. Lloyd and company thanked Kevin for his assistance and parted ways in Altair. As Noel and Lloyd rode the train back home, they discussed the changes Crossbell had gone through under the surface since the cult incident a few months prior. With Revash gone, control of the criminal underworld was up for grabs, and Hayaway was poised to become stronger than ever. The new mayor of Crossbell, Dieter Croix, seemed to have high expectations of the SSS in tackling the challenges to come. Chapter 1: Bright Skies Gathering Storms. The following day, the SSS officially resumed activities with Lloyd, Ellie, who just returned, and his 2 newest members, Noel and Wazzy. Better yet, the SSS now had an orbital car to make use of thanks to Mayor Croix, which they tested out by picking Key up from her Sunday school class. The new car, model XD78, manufactured by Zeiss Central Factory, would allow the SSS to respond to requests on the state's outskirts much more easily. Can't believe the model XD, man. You gotta be kidding me. But before handling one such request, Wazzy was challenged to a duel by his old rival Wild Wales, who was discontent with Wazzy's decision to join the police and leave the downtown district. After Wazzy dispatched Wald, the four arrived in Mainz to investigate a strange phenomenon occurring in the abandoned mine. As they began to investigate, a sudden blast trapped the SSS inside, leaving them no choice but to press further inside to look for a way out. Randy returned to save the team from a strange monster in the mine's depths. As the SSS drove home, a call for Dudley clarified what happened. The ones behind the attack were the Red Constellation, Randy's former corps. They come to Crossbell on business and told Randy that his father was killed in battle. What's more, he was expected to take his father's place and become the new war god. Randy was shaken up that his past had finally caught up to him, but the SSS did their best to look into the Red Constellation's movements. Looming over Crossbell was the Western Marine Trade Conference, a historic gathering of continental leaders organized by Mayor Croix. It marked a potential turning point in Crossbell's history regarding its relationships with Erebonia and Calvard. Chapter 2, the Western Marine Trade Conference. However, in the shadows, another group was stirring with plans of its own. Ouroboros had arrived in Crossbell and was plotting its next move. The trade conference and unveiling of the newly completed Orcus Tower were fast approaching. The police knew they could take no chances, and the SSS would be required to support the 1st Division where necessary. Problems continued to mount as the conference drew closer. The SSS learned Hayway had signed a contract with the Calvardian government, and Randy was summoned to the New Blanc nightclub to meet with his cousin Shirley and Uncle Sigmund about returning to the Corps. Ouroboros also began causing trouble on the Orban network. Wait, New Blanc? Oh, right, New Blanc was that fancy, was that fancy hostess club place in... What was the city called again? Fuck, what was it? Asher City? Fuck, what was it called again? Come on, brain, you can remember. Like, we saw it, like, literally last game. Well, whatever. That one city in Erebonia, Ash's, like, well, not like his original hometown, but, you know, his new one. I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. Meanwhile, a new analysis into Gnosis was completed by St. Ursula's Dr. Salen, but everything about it beyond its ability to release the brain's limiters couldn't be explained by biochemistry. Gnosis remained a mystery, especially its red variant's demonization ability. The evening before the conference, the SSS was summoned to the Crossbell Airport and invited aboard a Liberal's high-speed cruiser, the Arsail, to meet Crown Princess Claudia and Erebonia's Prince Oliver. Oh, Raquel. Right. Thanks. Yeah, Raquel. So the club they went to back in Azure was all the way in Raquel. Oh. Okay. Where are we? Oh, having heard of the SSS through the good friends Estelle and Joshua, the prince and princess asked for a meeting to give them crucial information. The SSS was told of the problems that were plaguing Erebonia and Calvard at the time. Namely, each country was dealing with terrorist threats targeting its two heads of state, the Empire's Chancellor Osborne and the Republic's President Rocksmith. Yeah. You always know what's a pretty funny thing to think about doing? To do like a chronological playthrough of like the Crossbell and Cold Steel games side by side. So like you either start off with your choice of like the Crossbell games, or with a Trails from Zero or Trails of Cold Steel 1. You get up to a certain point and then you switch immediately to like the similar time range of the events you just went through in the other game into the next game and go back and forth between the Crossbell and Cold Steel arcs. I thought that, me and my friend always thought that was really funny to do. Since they both kind of happen like simultaneously with the events of Zero and Azure and Cold Steel's 1 and 2 and stuff. Anyway, later that night, the team was contacted by Yona. who told them that a hacker had been running amok on the network and was using his old terminal in the geofront. Dudley, having overheard the conversation, insisted on tagging along to cover all bases before the conference. The team investigated the geofront B sector, but played right into the hacker's trap and were locked in a fiery room set to explode. And had the most intense match of pom-pom party ever. Just then, Tio appeared, having just returned from Le Mans, and freed them. With her arrival, the SSS, both old and new, was finally fully assembled. The Wisdom Area Trade Conference finally came, and Dudley agreed to add the SSS to the tower security detail. Tensions were high, and everyone was praying the day would end without incident. But it was only a matter of time before those prayers fell on deaf ears. Anti-air defenses at the borders were sabotaged, and the tower soon was under fire from terrorist gunships. Security thwarted the attack, but the terrorists escaped before being caught by Erebony and Calvert's hired muscle. The Red Constellation killed all the Erebonian terrorists on site, per Osborne's orders. Osborne and Rocksmith had anticipated the attack and used it to further criticize Crossbell's security failings. They proposed that the Imperial and Republican armies be stationed at Crossbell's border gates and the CGF be heavily scaled back. Mayor Croix had a shocking proposal of his own, however. He pleaded with everyone attending the conference that it was high time that Crossbell became an independent state. Intermission, a brief respite. Support for Crossbell becoming independent began swelling among the public in the weeks following the trade conference's stunning conclusion. Meanwhile, the SSS took a couple days off, still recovering from the shocking events surrounding the Red Constellation and Erebonian terrorists they witnessed. Maria Bell invited them to Michelin, where they could enjoy a brief respite at the newly opened lakeside beach and at Michelin Wonderland. To their surprise, Maria Bell also took the liberty to invite some of the SSS's closest friends, Noelle's sister Fran, Lloyd's stand-in sister Cecile, Ilya, Risha, and Arkanseal's newest member Sully. Everyone washed away their woes at the beach and theme park before attending a dinner party hosted by Mayor Croix. There, Dieter shared his views on justice and Crossbell's independence with the attendees, and stressed how important they each were to Crossbell's future. Back at the hotel, Lloyd had a moonlit talk with Risha about her struggles, and she opened up about the burden of accepting her family's legacy versus remaining with Arkanseal. Theo went missing later that night, leading the SSS to investigate the park and clash with the Society's Enforcer Number 0, Campanella the Fool. After a brief dust-up, the SSS found Kia staring blankly at the park's castle of mirrors, unable to recall when or why she had left Lloyd's bed. As they sailed back home, everyone's minds weighed heavy with the reminder of the evil that was bleh. Okay, let me repeat that. As they sailed back home, everyone's minds weighed heavily with the reminder of the evil that was still lurking in the shadows. Meanwhile, having finally spotted the chance to talk with Kia alone, Maria Bell pounced on the opportunity to tell her that she knew of a solution to Kia's problems. Oh, right. Okay, Chapter 3, Budding Turmoil. A public referendum on state independence was drawing near, as was the debut of Arkanseal's Golden Sun Silver Moon Encore. The SSS was back to work, and had its hands full following up on reports of mysterious monsters known as cryptids, the same kind of creature they encountered in the abandoned mine months prior. In doing so, they discovered a mysterious blue flower and connected it to the cryptids appearing. After consulting Reese Argent, a Grossritter member on an undercover mission, they identified it as Pleroma grass, a flower from the church's Apocrypha, and the key ingredient to Gnosis. The SSS then paid Rosenberg's studio a visit, home to Meister Jorg, if I remember correctly, Rosenberg, a member of Ouroboros, and leader of one of his 13 factories. Jorg denied any connection between the Society and DG cult, but confirmed the name attached to Ouroboros' current plan, the Phantasmal Blaze Plan. Shortly after, a train derailment incident caused the team to track a large monster into the Nox Forest. However, the culprit behind the derailment was no ordinary monster. It was Wald, who had taken to Gnosis to demonize and gain what he believed to be true power. Wald disappeared into the forest after a battle, causing the SSS to return to the city and fruitlessly ask around Wald's old hangouts for news on his potential whereabouts. Later, their efforts to locate 2 missing bracelets led them to the Lake Elm wetlands, where they found abundantly blooming Paloma grass and Yin, who come to investigate as well. In the wetlands depths, they encountered Campanella again, this time accompanied by Ouroboros' 6th Anguist, Professor F. Novartis. and 7 Anguis, Arian rode the Steel Maiden. The SSS was powerless in the face of Arian Road's inhuman strength, and Yin's mask was destroyed, revealing the face of none other than Rishia Mao. Ouroboros escaped, and Rishia excused herself. Without a moment's rest, the SSS was contacted by Dudley, who said the Red Constellation had vanished from Crossbell City completely. However, it wasn't long before the Jaegers re-emerged, occupying Lane's mining village and attacking the CGF on the mountain path. Remember the plant cryptid early on? Oh, yeah, I accidentally sequence broke a little bit because the Joyoland ports, both Zero and Azure, both had the same door clipping glitch, and we actually defeated the plant cryptid in chapter 3 in chapter 2, and we ended up seeing Tio early, but because she wasn't in our party, she was invisible. So the cutscene proceeded as usual, just with Tio being invisible. I thought I would soft lock the game by accident, by doing that. Surprisingly, no. Everything just proceeded as usual. I'm like, huh. I'm surprised the game didn't fall over its own feet when I did that. So, hey. Actually, can you still do the door clip glitch in the new versions of Zero and Azure? I would imagine not, right? Because they're on like new engine, or they're on like a new engine and stuff, having redesigned like a lot of stuff within. Oh well, is it a new engine exactly? I don't remember exactly. But is the glitch still there? I don't remember. Okay. Randy retrieved his old Jaeger weapon, Berserker, and left for the mountain path, deciding to take matters into his own hands. The SSS left to find Randy once they discovered he was missing. After a clash with Shirley, Lloyd confronted Randy and scolded him for acting so recklessly, saying his teammates will forgive him even if he can't forgive himself for what he did as a Jaeger. But no sooner had they liberated Mainz, they were greeted by the sight of Crossbell City aflame in the distance. Chapter 4: Crossbell's Fate. Mainz was the diversion, and the Red Constellation's true target was a city. They set it on fire. Gravely wounded they set it on fire, gravely wounded Illy Platier, and bombed key facilities one after another, including the police station, Hayway's office. Sal wondered just who they were working for this time. So wait. Don't think it can be done. You know there's a soft lock in Azure in the forest who fought Walden the first time? Oh, really? Huh. The SSS did their best to stop Sigmund, but the IBC building was destroyed and the perpetrators escaped. In the aftermath, Crossbell suspected Erebonio was behind the attack. The SSS did everything they could to return normalcy to the city, but it wasn't long before Noel decided to return to the CGF to help their depleted numbers. The referendum was held. The public voted overwhelmingly in favor of independence. The following week, the IBC froze Imperial and Republican assets, and Dieter declared the establishment of the independent state of Crossbell, naming himself as its first president. The CGF was reorganized into the Crossbell Defense Force, with Arios named as the Security of Defense, following his sudden resignation from the guild. The SSS minus Mozzie, who was mysteriously missing, then met with Kilika Ruan and Lecter, each representing the major powers' intelligence agencies. Lloyd began to suspect that Dieter had orchestrated the raid all along. Newseeker has a video in telling about it. You could get to a certain point and just spin around. Huh. That's interesting. Just then, a frantic Cecile called Lloyd, saying that Arios had come to the SSS building and taken Kia to Michelin. The SSS quickly pursued, only to find the theme park abandoned, and the Castle Lemire surrounded by an eerie light as the bell atop tolled. The higher elements were active within the castle, and deep inside, Arios had taken Kia to a secret space behind the mirror. On top of on the top floor, the SSS stepped through the mirror and were greeted by Arios, Mariabel, and Kia, who was straddled into a strange device. Mariabel revealed that the Croix family originally inherited the Septarian of Mirage from Adios, but lost it over 1200 years ago. They applied it for centuries to recreate the Septarian, incorporating magical science into the very foundation of Crossbell City. Kia's purpose was to be the vessel for the reborn Septarian, and the Croix family had manipulated the cult into looking after her for over 500 years. The SSS was determined to take Kia back by force, but their efforts proved fruitless, as they were powerless in the face of the Divine Blade of Wind's peerless techniques. Hey, I won that fight fair and square! The ceremony went on as Mariabel planned, and... went on as Mariabel planned, and Kia was reborn into a Septarian governing not only Mirage, but time and space as well. The Septarian of Zero. Kia then used their new powers to bless the Society's Ion Archaisms. The Ions defeated the invading Imperial and Republican armies and stopped an attack from Erebonia's railway cannons. Dieter, of course, stood atop Orcus Tower laughing as a barrier was erected around the city. Meanwhile, the SSS was arrested by Noella and the CDF on Arios' orders, but not before Arios confessed to being Guy Bannings' murderer. Fragments. Crossing False Paradise. Now ruler of the most powerful nation on the continent, Dieter coerced all other countries to join the United Nations, seeking to establish a new world order. The events in Crossbell had repercussions elsewhere as well, with Chancellor Osborne being shot and a civil war starting in Erebonia. Calvert, meanwhile, was suffering from an economic crisis and a sudden rise in terrorism. Ouroboros intended to depart the region once the Septarian awoke, but decided to remain to see how the events played out. Meanwhile, Lloyd was completely isolated from his friends and imprisoned with a peculiar cellmate, Garcia Rossi. Just as Lloyd felt hope slipping away, Garcia told him that Guy wouldn't give up so easily. Lloyd resolved to fight until the end, and the two of them hatched a scheme to break out of prison together. Once outside, Garcia stayed behind so Lloyd could make his getaway. Lloyd escaped through the forest, but was eventually cornered by the CDF. Suddenly, Zeit appeared, having returned to his original form as a holy beast. He then took Lloyd to Tangram Hill to reunite with Wazi, who revealed himself as the Grossritter's Ninth Dominion. Zeit told Lloyd everything he knew. Centuries ago, the Septarian of Mirage, Demiurgos, looked over the people in a land now known as Crossbell, governing them with empathy. However, it became too much for Demiurgos to bear, and eventually the Septarian dissolved its own causality, disappearing from the world. Lloyd's feelings toward Kia hadn't changed, even knowing she was a homunculus created by the Croix family. He realized the same fate that befell Demiurgos could happen to Kia. So he agreed to work with Wazi and the church. They boarded Wazi's ship, a Merkaba, and planned to reunite with the others and infiltrate the city. Finale, the path we chose. One by one, Lloyd reunited with his friends Tio, who had been isolated at St. Ursula Hospital, Ricia, who had joined forces with Heiwei to fight the Red Constellation, Randy, who was working with the CGF resistance members in the mains area, even Noelle, who was still torn between her sense of justice and duty as a soldier, rejoined the SSS after a duel with Lloyd. The SSS was finally reunited once more, following the team's mission to storm Michelin to free Speaker McDowell and Ellie. And holy shit, I just noticed this 12 pages for the finale. I mean, let's be honest. The finale for Azure was so fucking long. It was so goddamn long, it's crazy. Soon after, Jor contacted the SSS and confirmed the only way to drop the barrier surrounding Crossbell City was to stop the resonance of the bells at the Moon Temple and Stargaze's Tower. However, standing in their way were Campanella and Area Road. It proved difficult, especially challenging the Steel Maiden, whose ass I kicked. But the SSS was able to stop the two bells and drop the barrier. The path to taking back Kia was finally open. With the barrier down... God damn, okay, how many times am I gonna have to increment this counter? With the barrier down, the SSS devised the plan to infiltrate the city with the Grossritter, Heiwei, CGF, and Zeit's Wolves. Once inside, they reunited with the police members who were staging a resistance of their own. Dudley agreed to the SSS being the infiltration team to storm Orcus Tower and arrest Theater so long as he got to come with. But first, the team was beckoned to Crossbell Station by Killica and Lecter. They theorized there had been a puppet master behind Crossbell's independence, and it was all too much for Dieter to pull off with only his skills. Once inside Orcus Tower, the SSS saw its inner workings and how the Croix family incorporated magical science into its design. Eventually, they made it to the rooftop, and confronted Dieter, who had one of the Ions by his side. He told them everything he'd done was in the name of his sense of justice, and after gathering mana and fusing with the Ion itself, challenged the SSS to a battle to decide whose sense of justice was correct. The battle was met with a surprising conclusion as the Ion Dieter was piloting suddenly ran out of power. Much to his dismay, Novartis then appeared to collect the Ion. Saying the terms of their deal had changed, as agreed to by Mariabel. Dieter was furious to learn of his daughter's betrayal, when suddenly projections of his once allies appeared, along with the true mastermind, Ian Grimwood. Ian was the puppet master behind what they called the Azure Zero project, and had been manipulating Dieter without him realizing it. A great tree then appeared in the Ploma-abundant wetlands, the Azure Tree. According to Ian and Mariabelle, Kia was its core, and was the final form of the Septarian of Zero. The SSS knew they would have to make their way to the tree, and their greatest rivals and challengers would be waiting for them. Wald, the Red Constellation, Arios. Resolved, the SSS set off, determined to put things to rest once more. Put things to rest once and for all, and more importantly, bring Kia back from the brinks of despair and put a smile back on her face. 30 hours strong in Azure. Yeah, I think it took me. I don't remember how long it took me. I think it was like 40 plus or something for me, at least 40 plus. As they climbed the Azure Tree, Walsey finally settled the score with Wald. Risha, strengthened by the bond she had made in Crossbell, overcame Shirley and did so without exacting revenge. And Randy finally put the past to rest and moved on from the Red Constellation by defeating Sigmund. The SSS even overcame the greatest rival in Arios and forced the truth out of him. Arios confirmed he and Mariabelle were the ones responsible for Kia being at the Shore's auction. More importantly, he blamed himself for Guy's death, but it was Ian who pulled the trigger. All that remained was to stop Ian and Mariabelle, and then take Kia back. Ian eluded the Azure Zero's project's elucidated the Azure Zero project's goal was to create a paradise without conflict by making the Septarian the arbitrator of all space and time. It could alter the past and spare those who were killed, such as Ian and Arios' families. It could even create a world where Ereboni and Calvard are subservient to Crossbell. Okay, hold on, I need a little water break. How far am I in right now? Oh, not even an hour into the stream? Yo, nice. Okay, I can keep reading faster. Mariabelle explained Kia cooperated of her own will, and causality having rewritten once before. Kia changed occult incidents events by bringing the SSS closer to Estelle and Joshua, leading to their teaming that night. In turn, Ren came to save her friends, which allowed the SSS to survive fighting Gwenter rather than die as they should have. Lloyd rejected their reasoning, saying that undoing the past to negate hardship was the same as stealing humanity's potential for growth and denying their efforts to overcome strife. Hearing Lloyd's words and plagued by guilt, Ian chose to step down from the project. But the Croix family's millennia-long delusion was too ingrained into Mariabelle. She struck Ian down on the spot. Mariabelle then took great pleasure telling the SSS that everyone's unconditional love for Kia was nothing more than her unconsciously manipulating causality. Kia begged her to stop, but Mariabelle continued, saying it was befitting that an artificial girl only be given artificial love. The thought of manipulating her loved ones was too much for Kia to bear, so she closed her heart off, causing her to fuse with the Azure Tree to become Azure Demiurgos, much to Mariabelle's delight. Disinterested in what Mariabelle had to say, the SSS charged in, determined to break through the monstrosity that appeared before them and rescue Kia. But even once the Azure Demiurgos was defeated, Kia's heart remained closed as she was on the verge of dissolving her own causality, just as the Septarian of Mirage had. Lloyd ran into the void where Kia stood, and entered the world of Zero, a place where all possible outcomes lie. There he met his older brother Guy, despite knowing there existed a world where he and his brother could be together. Lloyd said goodbye, staying true to the path he and his friends chose. With Guy's encouragement, he was then able to locate Kia in the darkness of the... With Guy's encouragement, he was then able to locate Kia in the darkness of the world of Ein Sof? Lloyd reassured Kia that unconditional love was a natural thing, and that regardless of how it happened, nothing was going to change how they felt about her. Kia finally reverted her, to her original form and cried in Lloyd's arms as he picked her up to return to the real world. In the aftermath of the Azure Tree incident, Mariabelle accepted an offer to join Ouroboros as his new third Anguis, while Dieter and Ian both went to prison. Without the Septarian's power to protect it, Crossbell was quickly occupied by Erebonia and Chancellor Osborne, who survived his assassination attempt and returned to win the Erebonian Civil War. Thus, Crossbell began a long winter under Imperial rule. However, Lloyd and his friends remained resolved in the path they chose and never relented. No matter how many ordeals they faced or barriers they had to overcome. Yeah, they really had fun writing this, huh? After 2 long years, Crossbell was finally poised to regain his freedom once more. Okay, Cold Steel time. Funnily enough, all of Cold Steel like is all summarized within like less than 10 pages each. Because like compared to like the previous games where they break it down by chapter, they broke it down by game, which is pretty cool. Because like you thought that this would be like a huge ass rabbit hole. Because what was it? When I was looking through this off stream just to see whether or not it was feasible to read everything before starting the game, because I spent a hot minute during Cold Steel 4. Let's just say that. I thought they would break this down chapter by chapter. Nah, they summarized the whole freaking games, and I'm really glad they did that. I'm really glad they did that. Imagine your first game is Trails into Reverie. Yeah! I mean, like, as much as I would advocate going for Sky or starting with Cold Steel 1 and 2 just to get a feel for how they like their Trails formula, at the very least, they have pretty extensive summaries to let you know what the heck happened. There still might be some confusion as to, you know, the people mentioned, like the deeper reasonings and details, but obviously, you know, we can't detail that hard into summaries, but I mean, I would definitely advise against using this game as your first game, but I mean, if you just happen to stumble upon it and just get into it, I mean, at least you got something, right, for context? Although I kind of wonder what people's reaction would be if they had no freaking clue about everything else before Reverie, and it's like, why is there a novel in here? Compared to like game summaries. Yeah, reading about it and seeing the events play out is a really different feel because of like the sense of mystery and like questions running through your head, and like depending if you're in like a set piece moment, that feeling of adrenaline as you're like rushing through like some big dungeon, desperate to see what's gonna happen next and everything. Anyways, let's get to Cold Steel. So, Trails of Cold Steel 1. The year was 1204 of the Septian calendar, and all across Erebonia, spring was in bloom. Rien Schwarzer, son of a ruling lord from the remote region of Ymir, made his first steps into Trista to join the prestigious Thor's military academy. Little did he know that he would be taking part in a new class, Class 7, comprised of 9 promising young men and women. Together with their instructor, Sarah Valestein, he and his classmates traveled a great deal across a great deal of Erebonia, conducting a series of field studies to assist the local townships. It was through these unconventional studies that they witnessed the deep divide between commoners and nobles, the hold the aristocracy had within the empire, and the hostility lurking just without the hostility lurking just without from the Cover Republic. The tensions between noble and reformist factions were at an all-time high. They had still hoped to enjoy Heimdall's summer festival, if only the terrorist Sea and his Imperial Liberation Front hadn't stormed the capital. In time, Class 7 welcomed two new students, Milliam Orion and Crow Armbrust. The bonds between the classmates continued to swell, but at the same time, Rien grew increasingly at odds with the mysterious power within him, a raging strength like that of an ogre. Yet this internal strife felt as nothing compared to the overwhelming strife of the Empire. Chancellor Oswald's popularity continued to rise, and with it came rumors that nobles were in league with the Imperial Liberation Front. As fall arrived, the invigorated Crossbell state declared its independence, and were declared the vile culprits behind a monstrous attack that wiped the Empire's guerrilla fortress off the face of the map. The Chancellor made to declare war through an impassioned speech, riveting his people, but before he could finish, a bang resounded and he collapsed, a wound in his chest. The sniper was none other than the terrorist Sea, now unmasked as Crow Armbrust. It was then that the nobility, as the Noble Alliance, stormed the streets with giant humanoid machines to occupy the Erebonian capital. Class 7 rose to the occasion, defending the academy with all their might, only for their efforts to be for naught. It was then that Rien searched within and recalled another humanoid beast that dwelled beneath their feet. He called this beast forth by invoking its name, Valamar, the Ashen Knight. Crow, however, had a beast to call of his own. In the Azure Knight Ordine, he trounced Rien in his decisive clash. The classmates witnessed it all. and knowing Reen to be the greatest chance at survival, threw themselves forth to give them time to escape. Reen wished for anything but, crying out as he was forced to abandon those he had come to adore. On that day, the Erebonian Civil War had begun. You know, I find it really funny that, like, we just condensed all of the field stages to just, oh yeah, like, they went to several different towns and saw the deep divide within the Empire and everything, and yep, and then the Summer Festival. I was like, oh shit. Alright. Trails of Cold Steel 2. The Summary Cold Steel, don't tell all the details. Probably played all Tales by now. Oh yeah. And yeah, I mean, just for like the overall summaries, just going into Reverie, it would be a little excessive to go into that much detail with the field studies, because like, do we really need to know, you know, everything about the commoner nobility, like, hostilities and everything? Nah, not really. Like, within the context of Cold Steel, sure, but now that we're in Reverie, nah, we don't really need to know about it. Like, we're already beyond that. We just need to know that commoners, nobility, hate each other. Okay, a month had passed since the Erebonian Civil War commenced. Reen awakened, pain coursing throughout his body, and rose to his feet. As he surveyed his surroundings, he recognized this place. It was the Isengard Range next to his hometown of Ymir. Together with the Black Cat Selene and the Ashen Knight, he returned home, and trouble had followed. His father was gravely wounded in a brutal attack from the Noble Alliance's hired hands, and both Princess Alphen and his sister Elise were kidnapped by a strange girl clad in black. But in tragedy, there was hope, for he had also learned his beloved friends from Class 7 were still alive. Reen worked tirelessly to reunite with his classmates, meeting success with the exception of Crow. He would soon appear as well, however, in the midst of another raid upon Ymir from the Noble Alliance. Its mighty airship, the Pantagruel, appeared, and Supreme Leader Duke Kyan with it to invite Reen aboard. Though Reen knew it to be a trap, he accepted with the hope that he could save the princess and his sister. The Duke invited Reen to join the alliance. As Reen contemplated what his next steps should be while surrounded by the enemy, Crow appeared to relay his reasons behind the horrific acts of terrorism against the late Chancellor Osborne, as well as his past, deeply moving his former classmate's heart. Though the Pantagruel housed the Zephyr Corps, Ouroboros, and the ILF, Reen went with Princess Alphen and pushed through their myriad defenses to escape to the deck, where the two were rescued by Class 7 aboard Prince Oliver's Courageous. The prince bequeathed them his airship, and they agreed to use it to find places in need and liberate them from Noble Alliance occupation. They succeeded through one conflict after another, eventually leading to the freedom of Trista and the royal family at Corel Imperial Villa. Yet their joy was short-lived. Crown Prince Cedric remained in the Duke's clutches, and the Valflame Palace was transforming into something sinister. Class 7 trekked through the Infernal Castle, fending off one opponent after the next to reach the Vermilion Throne. They were greeted by Vito and Crow, weapons at the ready, and Duke Kyan, whose twisted ambitions were now laid bare. Before they could stop him, he forced the Crown Prince into the Vermilion Knight's core to awaken the corruptive Vermilion Apocalypse. Crow and Reen took to the Divine Knights to defeat this Vermilion Demon Lord. Though they managed to succeed, Crow was mortally wounded in the struggle, and a deeply heartbroken Class 7 surrounded him to impart their final goodbyes as he passed away. The Noble Alliance's Rufus Alberea then burst into the scene to arrest Duke Kyan, using his true position as leader of the Chancellor's Ironbloods. Even as Chief of Staff of the Alliance and a son of the nobility, he schemed in secret to sabotage them, under the direct orders of none other than the late Chancellor Osborne, who revealed himself to be very much alive. He declared his intentions to take over Ouroboros' Phantasmal Blaze plan in an act of war against them, but this meant nothing to Reen, who in his grief burned hot with anger at the revelation that his friend died in vain. In the face of this anger, the Chancellor merely responded, "I'm glad to finally see you again, my son. You've grown into a fine young man." 2 months passed, the Noble Alliance was snuffed out along with the war, and the Chancellor wasted no time in ordering Erebonia to claim Crossbell as its own in a swift invasion. The Cavalry Republic reacted in turn by sending their own troops in a counteroffensive. Reen, now known far and wide as the across the Erebonian Empire as the heroic Ashen Chevalier, was sent to Crossbell to fend them off. At the same time, a grand speech commenced to announce Rufus's appointment as the very first Governor General of Crossbell. The year was 1205 of the Septian calendar. March officially signaled winter's end. The members of Class 7, each now armed with wonderful memories of a place they had come to love, elected to leave Thor's military academy in hopes of reaching newfound dreams. The only one who chose to stay behind was Reen. Just before their train departed the station, they all promised one day to meet again. Alright, Trails of Cold Steel 3, but now I need to get a drink of water because, oh my god, I'm fumbling my words so much. Okay. In April 1206 of the Septian calendar, Reen disembarked the train to enter the modest town of Leaves. It would be his first day as an instructor of the brand new Thor's Military Academy branch campus, established by Prince Olivert. With 3 students under his care, Una Crawford, Kurt Vander, and Altina Orion, Reen was to lead them as part of Class 7 Special Operations, charged with various field missions involving intel gathering, surveillance, and supporting the locals. They received much help from Reen's former classmates throughout these missions, for their time on the field seemed to grow more perilous by the day. Ouroboros met them at every turn, and a mysterious figure, Azure Siegfried, met them while claiming to be acting in lieu of the chief of the gnomes. But it wasn't this revelation that struck Reen so much as a man's striking resemblance to the late Cor Armbrust. 2 students joined new Class 7 in June, Musa Egret and Ash Carbide. It wasn't long after this that they had encountered the Steel Maiden Aryan Road, a stunning woman who leads the Stahlritter, while bearing the honor of being among Ouroboros' strongest. As she left them, she lingered on the Society's repetitious experiments bearing fruit. In July, a new Class 7 was sent to Heimdall to complete a mission of the utmost importance, capturing a squad of Calvardian agents known as Hercules. They pursued these agents in the underground tunnels that took them to the Himmel Cemetery, where students of the main campus successfully apprehended them. Reen brought his students to the grave of Cor Armbrust, noticing right away that the earth had been disturbed. Upon reporting this and having the grave exhumed, they were shocked to discover that it was empty. Not long after, the members of the old Class 7 reunited for the first time in over a year, celebrating with tears of joy before delving into their plans. They reasoned that Erebonia was heading into an all-out war against the Cover Republic, and that they had to do everything they could to stop it while uncovering the dark secrets that lay beneath the Empire's surface. Their first step toward this goal was to defeat the dark dragon of ancient lore that lurked beneath Heimdall. With the guidance of the Hexen clan's elder, the Crimson Witch Roselia, they plunged into his labyrinthine lair and succeeded with aplomb. To celebrate their contributions in the capture of the Republican agents, both old and new Class 7 were invited to a party inside Valflame Palace. There, Reen met privately with Emperor Eugene III, who revealed the dark curse that plagued the Empire, and Chancellor Osborne, who unveiled how he cheated death, despite being shot in the heart. Suspicions arose when Reen returned to the party with Ash nowhere to be found, but it wasn't until a gunshot resounded that all were truly alarmed. Many rushed to find its source and were horrified to discover it. The Emperor had been shot, and Ash, now restrained by the Chancellor, was the gunman. Due to the gun's make, Ash was widely reported to be a Calvardian spy, and martial law was declared. Reen worried greatly for both him as well as Altina, who was forced away on orders from the Intelligence Division. Chancellor Osborne proclaimed the attack no less than a declaration of war. As such, enacted the National Mobilization Law to unite his citizens. In response to this, Class 7 met with Thomas of the Church's Grossritter, as well as Roselia, and they made the Chancellor's plan clear, to bring about the Great Twilight and the end of the world. Before they could learn more, a bell chimed as pitch black mana erupted from below Corel Imperial Villa, transforming it into the vile Grawl of Erebos. With friends and students by his side, Reen arrived at the Grawl of Erebos' lowest level, where Crown Prince Cedric and his Vermilion Knight and unconscious Altina, Chancellor Osborne, and the Chief of the Gnomes, Black Albrecht, awaited them. Though impossible to kill without a specially forged weapon, they faced against the Great Holy Beast, long corrupted after taking in a majority of the Empire's curse, in hopes of subduing and separating it from their enemies. As they realized the hopelessness of this tactic, the Courageous explodes, taking the lives of Prince Olivert, Viscount Arcade, and Toval with it. They don't know. The Crown Prince hoped to end Altina's life while Rean was compromised by the Holy Beast. But she awakened and escaped, rushing to defend... Wait. Oh yeah. Rushing to defend her instructor first thing. Before the beast could strike her, Milliam also came to defend her little sister. The Holy Beast raised his great claw and slashed down upon Milliam, ending her life and transforming her into the sole weapon that can end its life in turn. The start of the end. Horrified by his dear friend's sacrifice, Rean fell into an uncontrollable rage, took the Sword of the End as Valamar, and killed the Holy Beast, unleashing the curse it housed within its form across all of Erebonia. He had brought about great twilight with his own hands. With Rean's rage seemingly impossible to sate, Crow, who regained his memories in his Azure Knight, Rutger in his Paladin Knight, and Arianrod in her Argent Knight swooped down to surround and restrain him. The last to call his knight was Osborne, who revealed himself to be the awakener of the Ebonite, Ishmelga. He then approached, lifting Rean by the neck and telling him, "Now, Rean, let us begin. Together we shall write the end to this wretched fairy tale, in ink, black as despair." Alright, and Cold Steel 4. The plans of Chancellor Osborne and Ouroboros came to fruition in the form of the Great Twilight, and its curse drives citizens to take up arms and rush into conflict spread throughout the Empire. 1 month later, the Erebonian government took advantage of these heightened emotions to declare all-out war against the Cover Republic. After awakening from comas brought on by draining their spiritual energy, Yuna, Kurt, and Altina found themselves in the mysterious Erin, a village led by the Hexen clan's Roselia, and home to many a witch. Old Class 7 was also present, feeling deeply crushed by their recent failures. It was only with new Class 7's encouragement that all regained their hope, and with it they formed a plan to save Rean, whom they believed was being held captive by the Black Workshop. They traveled the continent to drive spirit stakes into various points known as singularities, their hope being these would eventually reveal the location of the Black Workshop. Along the way, they managed to reunite with Ash, who fled to Hamel after being captured, and Muse, also known as Mildine, who claimed their title as Duchess and formed the Vicent army to oppose the government. Despite the opposition from Ouroboros, they successfully placed all the stakes, allowing them to locate and infiltrate the Black Workshop. At first, their awaited reunion with Rean was darkened by him having lost himself in the overwhelming shadows of his own power. But through impassioned pleas, they're able to bring him back and escape. The full party, led by Rean, wasted no time traveling to Soul Shrine to meet with Crow. There, they discovered Osborne's true objective, the Rivalries, a series of ceremonies that pit the Divine Knights against one another in order to awaken the Septarian of Steel. Rean and Crow's Ashen and Azure Knights engaged in the ceremony. The Ashen Knight emerged victorious, and having fulfilled his purpose as an immortal, Crow began to fade away. However, Rean, used the powers granted to him by the Rivalries to bind Crow's existence to his own, saving him. The heroes later received an invitation from the Pantagruel, and there, Muse presided over a meeting of leaders from the Liberal Kingdom, the Principality of Remiferia, and the Cover Republic. She proposed a plan to resist Osborne's Operation Jormungand, Operation Mio Mirage, and all present were inspired to move forward with it. Rean and company were offered roles in this plan, but the heroes opted to take a third path that would avoid major conflict between countries. As if to shatter the hopes of this progress, Ouroboros infiltrated the meeting. However, the day is saved by the appearance of the Courageous Two, piloted by none other than Prince Olivert, who was thought dead. After the heroes bore the Courageous Two and successfully evade Ouroboros, they found the Spectral Moon Mirror. Through its ability to reveal the truth behind the many mysteries surrounding the Empire, they not only learned that Osborne is the reincarnation of Emperor Draco's the Lionheart, but they discovered that the origin of the curse engulfing the land is the Divine Knight Osborne now pilots. The truth now clear, Rean resolves to participate in the rivalries to defeat the one who started it all, Ishmelga, the Ebon Knight. The heroes traveled to the shrines where the ceremonial battles were fated to take place. Rean then fought and defeated Rutger, piloting Zector, the Platinum Knight, and Arianrod. Okay, let me reread that. Rean then fought and defeated Rutger, piloting Zector, the Paladin Knight, and Arianrod, piloting Argrian, the Argent Knight. 2 days before the war, the skies are darkened by the unveiling of Tuatha de Danann, the Imperial Fortress, the final stage for the rivalries. After a precious day spent celebrating bonds with loved ones, the first shots of war were fired, and Operations Zormagan and Mio Mirage were enacted. Rean and company are joined by heroic companions like Estelle and Lloyd to take on the Imperial Fortress as a team. While en route to its heart, Rean encounters Prince Cedric and Rufus, Awakeners of Testarossa, the Vermilion Knight, and El Prado, the Auric Knight. He conquered against each of these adversaries before meeting face to face with the Awakener of the Ebon Knight, his father. The two cross swords in a fierce clash filled with emotion. Not long after, victory goes to Rean. The next move was to abolish the source of the curse. The heroes wielded the power of the Earthen Prison, bequeathed by the Holy Beast of Earth, to manifest Ishmelga's malice into physical form, putting everything they had into defeating this final foe. They won. The accursed twilight that wrought the Empire was finally banished, and the battle across the Miria's soil ground to a halt. With the reason for their existences now fulfilled, Crow and Milliam, the latter of whom lived on as Valmar's blade began to fade away, but not before Divine Knights used the last of their power, used the last of the power given to them by Adios to save their lives, bringing about a true miracle. It was on that day they had successfully put an end to a wretched fairy tale, carving a new path toward a happy ending. Ugh. Although, okay, you know what? Maybe we don't need to read 3 and 9 again. They're all averaging like 25 pages each. Although I do like the illustrations. You like how they don't speak about the bad ending? Oh yeah. Although wait, let me like skim through this real quick. Do they have any other illustrations? Oh, huh. You know, I kind of had like a different image in my head as to how they would actually look, but you know, I kind of like these illustrations. But you know what? I think I'm gonna have to cut the tradition short here. I don't think I'll read through everything here. Huh. This is pretty cool though. But man, now that they actually include this. Aw, look at her sleeping. Now that they actually include this in the story summaries, oh boy, I hope I remember everything I need to know with 3 and 9. Gray and Celia Reinhardt. Okay, so that's the names they're gonna be having. Oh wait, no, is that the names that they went with when they went on board here? Or hold on, did they ever? Wait, what is that? Was that their cover names, or is that like? Hold on. Or was that like at the very end when they had like their new lives and shit? Oh no, right. Their actual names was Swin S, Nadia, and okay. So wait, the limited edition version of Reverie gives a paperback version of 3 and 9. Wait, what? Wait, that's crazy. Wait, I want that. I would actually love a paperback version of 3 and 9. What the heck? Ah, man. Okay. We'll cut the 3 and 9 part short. I think that might take a little bit too long to get through. Okay. Now we can get going. Thankfully, we didn't need to go overboard with character profiles. You got the limited edition of Reverie? Yo, nice. I'm jealous. Okay, now let us begin. You think this is still available? Oh, I'm not sure if I wanna spend the money on it though. Okay, so I've heard many things about how difficult Abyss mode is. Although for the sake of achievements, we're fine dipping between Nightmare and Abyss. So should I find something to be a little too bullshit, I might just switch back to just Nightmare. But if I can get past a certain hurdle in a certain someone's part early on, then it should be smooth sailing after. So we're gonna take a look at this. You'll be unable to retry failed battles with weakened enemies on hard or higher difficulties. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Yes. Same for very easy, I've heard many things. You know, I really wonder how easy very easy is. Alright. See, special rewards are in store for system data from Trails from Zero or Trails to Azure. Oh! Wait, does it pick up the Joyoland versions of my... Oh, wait. Oh, oh, they need me to... Oh! I can't use my... Oh, I need to convert my saves to...